Hello everyone and welcome back. I actually was not planning on making this video, at least not so soon after the review of this little camera, the Fuji X100VI. But a few days ago, I put up a poll here on YouTube as well as over on my Instagram account asking you guys what you wanted to see next. And this topic sort of won by a landslide. So here we are because I really do value you all and want to make content that you guys are excited to watch. A few small things have changed over the last few weeks. For one, I got a shorter strap for the camera from Clever Supply. I went with black this time, just to switch it up a little bit. But the reason I wanted a shorter strap was to avoid this situation. I'm gonna call it the belly bounce, which happens constantly while I'm hiking and it drives me absolutely nuts. I also got a new shutter release button. This one is a concave style in black wood from Artisan Obscura. I've actually been using their shutter release buttons for years now on both my film and digital cameras, and I highly recommend them. I have no affiliation with either of these brands that I just mentioned. I just really like their products and figured some of you would be interested in how I'm customizing my camera. I've been trying the camera with and without the lens hood recently. The main reason being because I'm trying to experiment using more with the optical rangefinder / viewfinder that this camera has, and the hood actually blocks like a significant portion of the bottom right when you're using the optical version. And I think what I've decided is that I'm going to just carry the adapter kit with like the hood and the filter with me so that I can screw that on and fully weather seal the camera when I need to, but then just not have it on majority of the time. I of course have been bringing this camera just about everywhere with me, so when this topic won the vote, I figured I'd just compile a few of these different outings I've been on since the last video and sort of smash it all into this one video to share with you guys. In this first segment, a couple of our friends met up with Jillian and I for a sunset mission to the top of Mount Spokane here in Eastern Washington. I shot all of the video and photos on the X100VI. The photos were shot in RAW, as always, and edited with my preset system for Lightroom. And the footage was shot in F-Log2 and 6.2K and graded in DaVinci Resolve. Halfway through our hike, we stopped in this very cool little cabin, took a rest, ate some snacks, of course, and I took this photo here of the golden hour light coming through the crack of the door. We passed by this same spot and the light had changed quite a bit, so I took the same photo again to see the difference. As you can tell, this area at the summit is a ski resort in the winter season. Here's the thing, I have been skiing once and snowboarding once. Within that time, I fell at least 78 times. My ass will probably never recover from the snowboarding day. So needless to say, I have terrible balancing skills and stick to visiting ski and snowboard areas in the summer months. Before we move on to the next outing, I want to take a minute to talk about the sponsor of this video, me. As some of you surely have heard by now, I recently released my first ever preset system for Lightroom. It's designed to work with raw files from any of the major camera manufacturers, and it comes with 8 Lightroom presets, 4 dynamic range quick actions, 3 film grain settings, including 35 and 120, 3 sharpening settings, a user manual with installation and workflow instructions, a full reference guide thoroughly documenting my design intention and the use case that I would suggest for each one of the looks, and a video walkthrough and demonstration of how I approach editing using the system. My goal with this system was to be able to have my digital photos mesh well with my film photography in my portfolio and give you guys the tools to understand what goes on and what happens behind the scenes in creating these looks. To those of you who have already purchased them, thank you so much for supporting me and my work both on YouTube and over on Instagram. The feedback that I've gotten from you guys has been one of the most rewarding experiences of my life, and I cannot believe that there are now people using this system in over 30 countries across the world. If you're interested in learning more about this preset system, check the link in the description below or visit my website, which will also be linked below. We're going camping, so I'm gonna grab some essentials. Can't have coffee at the campsite, so at least not easily. Red Bull. These things, been absolutely addicted to. Jillian's obsessed too, it's not just me. Hot dogs, because why not? We're camping, it just seems appropriate. And I was gonna bring film, but I've decided against that for this trip, so. So today we're heading to over by Mount Rainier. It's Carl's first camping trip, so we're pretty excited about that. As you can see, the car is super full. We're just doing one night. We're gonna try to use this new mattress that we've never used camping before, which should be interesting. It takes up pretty much the whole back once we lay these seats down. So we're hoping it's enough room for Carl and the two of us. He takes up quite a bit of room, but we have the tent packed just in case. Excited to get out of here for a few days. Somewhere in the middle of this ridiculously boring and flat drive between Spokane and the Cascades, we stopped at this rest area to let Carl out, and I snagged the first photo of the trip. Shooting midday is never something I find fun at all, but I'm trying to get better about not avoiding it. A few hours later, we got into the mountains and the scenery started changing pretty dramatically.
Is a little bit tight.
By the way, huge shout out to Jillian who helped me film this entire trip. I should also mention that for this camping trip, we filmed on both the Sony and the Fuji. We got to our campsite just in time for this really beautiful light to start piercing through the trees. So we walked around for a bit and I shot some photos just to get warmed up. Don't eat that. Hey. This view of Mount Rainier was pretty mind-blowing, but I'll be honest, I did not expect so much snow to still be covering the area. There were actually small lakes down right below in the foreground here that I was hoping to shoot some reflections of the mountain in for this, like the full Bob Ross effect, but I'll have to come back and do that another time. I just like immediately overthink everything as soon as the camera's on.
How do I take a picture?
Oh, we missed you, bud. After eating the entire pack of hot dogs, like I was in a competition on Coney Island, we got the back of the Subaru set up for the night. We ended up using this mattress and putting our sleeping bags on top, and then a blanket on top of that because it was actually gonna get down to about 34 degrees Fahrenheit overnight. Thankfully, the campground was pretty empty that night because I couldn't resist taking a few photos of the bathroom building. I mean, it had no right looking this moody and cool. The next morning, we started a hike that ended up being under construction and kind of not what we were hoping for at all. So we had to sort of pivot and decided to instead drive to a completely different area where we did a nice, peaceful hike along the river. The trail ended in a pretty incredible waterfall, unfortunately complete with selfie-taking, prancing, half-naked influencers that I absolutely stamped out of the final image. Good times. That's all I've got for today's episode. Thanks again for watching. I hope you enjoyed seeing even more of what the Fuji X100VI can do. For those of you who voted for another topic, good news, I'll probably do them all anyways.